What is up, everybody? I am Ant, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host. Introduce yourself, sir.
Tyler Peters, and it's so good to be with you again, Ann. And let's talk some SmackDown because I feel like we can lay the SmackDown on the podcast and wrestling worlds together.
We sure can, man. And Carlos is not with us today, but he'll be back next time. As Tyler said, we are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown from October 14th, 2022. They were live in New Orleans, Louisiana. We got the voodoo for you bitches.
Oh, we do, man. We're down in the bayous.
Bayou. And speaking of bayous, really weird segue, doesn't have anything to do with this.
It
We
works.
start the show with a scene of a car accident. We see Karrion Kross and Scarlett are hurt. We see the damaged car, and Drew McIntyre comes from out of nowhere and he attacks Karrion Kross very badly. And he says this is just the beginning. So we kind of were spoiled about this before. I thought it was going to be a bit bigger than what it was, but what were your thoughts on this chaotic opening to SmackDown with the car crash?
I thought it was good because it kept our attention. It was something different, out of the ordinary. And I didn't know what was going to transpire. You saw Karrion Kross with Scarlett, then Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere, beats him up. You get all the officials, Adam Pearce, and everyone. So that's the way to kind of begin a show. For me, I thought it was good. It was a positive thing because you needed not only a cliffhanger at the end, but something to jumpstart the program.
Yep. I thought it was very action packed right off the bat right away. And yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I thought again it could have been a little bit bigger and better if it was going to be a car accident, but I get it.
Yeah, sometimes it is what it is, and I can see your point. I just think they were one that shock factor and kind of make you go, what's going to happen? The wow factor maybe is more appropriate. So I get what you're explaining there, but for what it was, it accomplished what it needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way to kind of put the fact that the two of them aren't getting along still, and they probably won't for a long time. But
I like the fact, and pardon me, and I
ahead.
enjoy that they're both continuing this feud from Extreme Rules. I think there's so much they can do between Cross and McIntyre and with Scarlett.
Yeah, dude, Scarlett is definitely someone that you got to always keep your eyes out for because she is amazing.
She may interfere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, Carlos and I were brawling last time about it, but had Scarlett not gotten involved, we really don't know if Drew McIntyre, or I'm sorry, if Karrion Kross would have been the one to win that strap match. But
we don't know. I mean, she was so instrumental in that finish at Extreme Rules, and you're able to write more of the chapters to that rivalry that we're all looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Yeah, she's Scarlett the Witch. She's cool. I like her.
Yeah, she is very cool.
And she's attractive too, so
it doesn't hurt that she looks good.
She looks very, very good as well. So, okay, moving on. We have our first match of the night. Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods taking on Sami Zayn with one half of the Unified Tag Team Champions, Jey Uso. And the New Day come out and they talk about their legacy. They were champions for 483 days. And the Usos are 30 days away from breaking the New Day's record. Sami tells Jey Uso that he is coming out with him tonight. Roman Reigns calls Sami. Reigns wants to talk to Jey. And basically, Reigns is upset about Jey not making sure that Sami won on Raw. So he's pretty much taking that out on Jey. And he just tells him, he's just telling him, make sure Sami gets the win tonight, have his back. So do you think, quick question before the match starts, do you think they're going to try to have Usos break the New Day record, or do you think Usos are eventually going to drop the titles before 30 days?
I think they'll have the Usos break the New Day's record. With all due respect to, what Kofi and Xavier have done, Big E as well, and I like those guys, but I think the dominance of the bloodline. We've mentioned it, the storyline back on that Raw episode. from just a week ago, how important and how significant and how they value the bloodline right now and the Usos. And with Sami Zayn, I thought it was very well done, the execution, and we're seeing their planning. So I would not be surprised if that reign from New Day is broken by the Usos.
Yeah, I could see that. It looks like they're trying to sort of like, because we're at that point where like 2014, 2015, 2016, they're kind of becoming farther away.
Right.
And so, you know, as years go on, you do need to do things. One thing I noticed though, as a fan, and maybe this is just because as I'm getting older, it seems like in the beginning, like they weren't really worried about breaking streaks and like, you know, they were just focused on like storylines and history or whatever. Whereas now I feel like they're focused on making history each generation. You get what I'm saying? But it's almost like kind of
getting that
forced.
milestone over.
Yeah, it's kind of forced though a little bit, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, I just
I get what you're saying. I think you're bringing up some valid points,
yeah.
But I think it's important to respect the lineages and the history you're mentioning, because it does add more of the prestige to those titles, those championships.
I just think too, I feel like the champions have been champions for a long time now. You know, Reigns has been champion for 2 years. Usos have been champions for what, a year at this point.
It's been a long time.
I mean, and I understand they're trying to show dominance, but it's going to be hard for the Usos to be taken the Usos to be taken seriously if they lose after this, because they've been dominant for so long that it's like, how do you beat someone? And like, you can beat them, but then what happens after you beat them? Because it's like they've been dominant for a year. The team that beats them needs to have a really hard battle to overcome, because if they beat the Usos, you know what I'm saying?
And I don't see the New Day being that team, with all due respect. It's not the same group anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to even utter those words, because they are definitely over. They're very popular. I like all those guys. But seriously, do we see a scenario where the New Day is actually going to be the ones to defeat Jimmy and Jay right now? I
don't know. But it's always like, I will tell you though, Tyler, though, in my opinion, with the way they're going, I could see them being like, well, they've had a rivalry for years. This would be the team to be able to beat them, because they are a team that's going back and forth. Another team that's been like that is like the Street Profits. I mean,
it's good.
But I think right now. Go ahead.
No, there's just so much depth as far as like a Street Profits or New Day. I'm not saying depth meaning tag teams necessarily, just that formula they have, whether it's the Street Profits like you're mentioning or the New Day. But I still don't see either one of those teams being viable to dethrone the Usos.
Who do you think, really quick before we go on break, which team currently that we know of now do you think could beat the Usos and you would be okay with it? Because remember, they've been champions for almost a year now. Who can beat them and you'd be okay with it?
I don't know if there's a lot of teams that I would choose that I'd be okay with it. That's WWE's problem right now. I think that's why the OC coming back has been good. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you can look up and down that locker room, and who do you want to beat them? Unless you make Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, or if Drew McIntyre teams up with Sheamus or somebody, or Imperium.
My opinion, it has to be like an Imperium. It has to be a team that's already solidified, because it's going to be stupid if you have a random team just beat the Usos. So we're going to go ahead, Tyler.
No, it's just not going to. It's going to devalue it. Excuse me there.
It will devalue it. But we're going to keep on talking. We're going to come right back after our quick break, and we're not going to devalue anything. We're going to keep raising the stocks.
Entertain.
Yes, sir. You are entertained. We will be. Welcome back, everybody. So, yes, we were just talking about teams that could maybe beat the Usos. But let's move on for now. Our first match of the night is what we were just talking about. Kofi Kingston taking on Sami Zayn. Here are the highlights from that match. Sami nails a running hip attack in the corner, and he gets a 2 count, paying homage to the Usos and Umaga and other Samoan wrestlers like that.
Which was nice.
it was cool to see him do that, pay tribute to those guys. Kofi nails an SOS and he gets a 2 count. Jay then super kicks Xavier Woods outside of the ring. Sami hits a blue thunder bomb and that gets a 2 count. And then the end comes when Jay gets on the apron. Kofi rolls up Sami Zayn, but Jay kicks Kofi and Sami rolls up Kofi. And listen, Jay Uso made up for last week. He helped Sami Zayn get the win here tonight. What do you think?
Oh, he did. Jay Uso. See, this is what I love about this whole angle between Sami Zayn and Jay Uso, the whole bloodline ordeal, is now he's helping Sami. But yet, and I'm going to get ahead of myself, so I don't want to spoil it because I know you're going to break it down very nicely. But I thought it was a good match. I thought, Kofi and Zayn put together just some solid. I like how Jay Uso got involved.
Yeah.
With the and everything, and helping his allegiance, like he's going to obey Roman Reigns. It was all well thought out.
Mm-hmm. And now Jay, like I said, he made up for it, and hopefully going forward, they're gonna let Jay sort of, off.
Well, he's out of the doghouse, and maybe he never was. That's the whole thing. It's all, it's going back to that winning formula that they've got.
Yep. Ooh, hello, and we are live.
I think that's Roman Reigns. That's Roman Reigns. Like
you're
Sami
Zayn. Hello.
On, and I'm going to be one of the Usos. That's what's happening. Wait a minute, that's Triple H calling Road Dogg there.
Yes,
I'm running Raw. I know you're not feeling well. You've been tested positive, and what do you want me to do with this format?
Yeah.
Things happen when you're live. I mean, it's uncensored. We're just having fun, and somebody may be complaining. Hey, we don't like that theory you have about a match.
Oh my gosh.
Your answer should be, who cares? We're the ones on the show.
I'm gonna say this. People who don't know, my personal life, Tyler's gonna be proud of me. That's all I'm gonna
be very proud.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, so let's move on. Sorry. So
no, you're a superstar.
Yes.
Let's raise the roof. Holler if you hear me, like Scott Steiner.
I'm not even high. This is fun. Anyways, so Triple H is backstage. He's talking to the police, and
he was talking to you just a moments ago, or at least was that him?
He was just calling me to figure out what's going on, why I'm not really paying much attention. So anyways, let's keep on talking. So Triple H just
hey, that's the best thing to do, is just keep up
just keep on talking, I guess.
Let's ramble.
Yeah, let's do it. Best thing that I'm at is rambling. So Triple H talking. Yeah, dude. No, you know who's really good at that? Carlos. Carlos does not know how to land the plane. He is a terrible pilot.
Is very good, but yeah, his finish, if we were using psychology, takes a little bit. It's a long finish. With all due respect, we love you, Carlos, but
we love Carlos to death, but don't put him in the main event because that's just gonna go on to fucking midnight. The main event starts at 9 o'clock. You're gonna
get a marathon. Yeah, you're gonna have a Tokyo Dome type match.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, I guess don't really rock with Carlos right now. So, anyways, don't land the plane. We're backstage and Rey Mysterio shows up and he tells Triple H that he will never fight his son. Rey says, I still see that little boy. I can't do this anymore. I quit. And then Triple H says, there's got to be another way. Just give me 5 minutes. We'll move, we'll talk a little bit about that because obviously something happens later in the night. Do you think it was a good move for Rey to well, let me save it for later because I'm going to ruin it. So
you're fine.
We'll touch base on that later. It's just important to know that Triple H is talking to Rey backstage. Rey's not happy. He wants to leave.
Sentimental moment, and I did feel compassion for Rey Mysterio Jr. with Triple H. What a just nice moment.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so we're then backstage. We see Roxanne Perez. She's from NXT, and she chooses Raquel Gonzalez. Or is it Rodriguez? What is it? Rodriguez or Gonzalez?
It's Rodriguez, but it used to be Gonzalez. Don't feel bad because You did fantastic.
Thank you. Raquel Rodriguez is backstage, and Roxanne Perez chooses Raquel, and Bailey shows up and she challenges Roxanne Perez and Shotzi to a 6-woman tag match tonight. So yeah,
Hey, that's gonna be a good match. Hey, Bailey, Damage Control. We know they're on SmackDown for one reason, because Dakota Kai and Io Sky are the women's tag team champions, so they go across both brands and even NXT.
we're getting a lot of that cross
Oh,
promotion
we are.
stuff.
We're getting a lot of that variety, and we don't even have a draft in the WWE, but we're getting a little sample, a little taste, if you will.
Yep. All right, our next match. This match we're not going to really talk a lot about. Braun Strowman defeats 2 jobbers. Shock. However, during the match,
forward to that one.
yeah, that was the most enthralling match of the night. But during that match, Omos and MVP watch from the crowd, and Braun gets the win after a power bomb. Then afterwards, MVP grabs the mic and he says, "Braun Strowman, the monster of all monsters. Have you not seen Omos?" He goes, "You look normal next to him." And he basically shit talks Braun Strowman. Eventually, we're gonna get Braun versus Omos, probably for Crown Jewel. Are you excited for that?
No. And that's no disrespect to either guy. It'll be interesting. Now, the visual will be impressive. 2 big guys. MVP's the best part of this right now. I just cannot get invested. And I like Braun coming back, but, Almost, or Omos, however you say his name. I've said it so many different times. Yeah, almost, whatever. He's a tall guy, a giant, obviously, but his wrestling ability, he needs more NXT, more training. And Braun Strowman, let's face it, he's better when he's brawling or showing his power, because you're not going to get a technical masterpiece here.
No. Well, listen, the ring is going to move a lot at Crown Jewel if Braun and Omos are going to fight, but I don't know.
They move in a different country when those 2 guys are in there. The lockup alone may end up in all the way back to the UK. I mean, who knows, from the Middle East.
I just don't think Omos can keep up with Braun, but we'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be interesting, but I get your point, because I think that's where Braun has the better of, his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Braun has more depth to his character too, I think.
He does, and well deserved. That I just don't have a lot of interest, but maybe I just got to give it time with this kind of feud. And like I said, he is the most valuable player in this whole saga here between the 2 giants.
Yeah, very much. Okay, so we got the Giants fighting. Always fun.
Oh, that's going to get a lot of ratings.
Yeah, that's going to turn a lot of heads. The other way, though.
Yeah, not the way you want.
Not the way you want. Next, we have Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Solo Sikoa backstage. Sami says that I won that match on my own. I didn't get any help. And Jay's like, I helped you. And Solo's like, I missed it. I didn't see that. And he says
he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention when the moment happened. But Solo has a lot to learn from Sami. What's going on? I'm a little confused here. It seems like they're making it brother versus brother now. Is that the right move for this angle, do you think?
I don't know if it's the right move. It's still early in these stages, even though it's progressing. And I'm laughing because this is what's great about this show. I'm making a point and Ant's moving around and I can't help it now. I'm distracted. But no, what I was going to say, now he's just doing it for fun, but we love it. And what I was going to add is that I'm not sure what to make of it, because to me, it adds more intrigue, though. I mean, they're planting the seeds already. We've been redundant. We've talked that to the ground. I just want to wait and see. I've got to be patient, because remember, that's a virtue which I do not have a lot of the times.
Well, I think hopefully we find out what's going on pretty soon, because I'm like checking myself out too. I gotta shave this part too. Look at my beard. I got like a Scott Steiner thing going on here.
I think it looks great. I forgot to check myself too, but we kind of got a mirror. This is you're going to give us tips on our beauty tips and everything else, and
Well,
It helps
it for
loosen
you.
up. That's the magic behind the Uncensored Wrestling Podcast. It's Halloween shirt. Halloween's close. October, he's got SmackDown. He's actually in the arena reporting live from Friday Night SmackDown. It's Ant, your host. And whoa, talk about scary. Bray Wyatt would be proud of that, or maybe The Undertaker. He's got the shirt over his head. There's a pumpkin. Yeah, that voice.
Oh, no, you want to hear something really weird? Hang on, ready?
No, I'm shaking in my shoes. I can't.
Hello, Tyler. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm not going to let you know my name. That was frightening. Now, my acting job was terrible.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to be sorry.
That was my alter ego, Pumpkin Man. He comes
Pumpkin
out.
Man.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's copyright it. It's the new gimmick. Write it into SmackDown now. That's actually part of the White Rabbit. People don't realize that everything ties together for a reason. It's called story. Yeah, it's all about it.
Sorry, different show, different program. Hello.
Different show, but it can segue. That's the beauty of being uncensored. That's your range. That's your creation, my friend, and much credit. I think you deserve an award.
Bobby Heenan, I like that. I like the little like.
Oh yeah, the Bobby Heenan salute. There you go. The weasel, the brain, Bobby Heenan.
So speaking of bombs, we have a not new wrestler, but he's giving out his old gimmick. LA Knight is done with Max Dupree.
I'm happy.
Yep, we get to see his old moniker come back, and he's taking out Mansoor, who is with LA's sister Maxine Dupree and Massey. And this is a pretty quick match. Who was it? Mansoor nails a DDT. LA Knight nails a nice neck breaker and a springboard shoulder tackle. LA nails the BFT and he gets the win. After the match, LA Knight grabs the microphone and says, I don't know anyone chanting my name. I'm putting the roster on notice. It's LA Knight's game. Yeah. Right? Is that what he says? Yeah. Is that what he?
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
says yeah, and he's incredible. I'm so glad that he's finally back to being LA Knight. Eli Drake formerly was in NWA Impact. I had to research some of this myself, but yeah, the Maximum Male Models thing was we all know was hokey. Was the everybody was laughing at it, and I kind of feel bad for the talent involved because everybody can see through it, but they're doing a good job. They're being professional. They're as embarrassing as it may seem to us. They're getting paid. It's still a job, a role. Boy, his sister, she's distracting. We talked about being attractive. Maxine, can I be come to a get together? I mean, she's out of my league, out of my dreams, but I'll still try.
Just fucking give me some corn and call me Bubba. I shucky ducky.
Tell us how you really feel. Booker T, everybody.
Whoa, like Maxine. Wow. Listen, SmackDown, I'm in trouble. SmackDown got Maxine, Scarlett, Zelina Vega. This ain't good.
SmackDown became a #1 show. Now, Raw's got some great talent, don't get me wrong. But SmackDown has transcended sports entertainment.
Raw's got fucking I mean, listen, Bianca Belair is beautiful, don't get me wrong.
Oh, she's very true.
Raw has Rhea Ripley. Dakota Kai is cute. Io Sky is attractive.
I didn't have a crush on her. I admit when I saw her in NXT, I'm like,
Bailey's attractive, but I don't know. It's just kind of like Raw's more the tough chicks, whereas SmackDown has the tough chicks, but they're also kind of like, they don't mind flaunting their body. It seems like on SmackDown, at least.
Yes, they are definitely there to please, and I don't mean that even in a bad way. It's just a fact.
I can't even. I don't think I can whistle. Otherwise, I would have whistled.
I can't whistle. I can't. Don't ask me to because that's not one of my hidden talents. You'll be so disappointed if you want to
wink either.
Whistle.
Should I try?
Oh, yeah, I can't wink either. I'm not going to whistle Dixie either. I'm not going to wink it either.
Am I winking? Right?
Yeah, you are. I'm not going to try to do it.
Wait. Hi, Mama. No, it doesn't work.
That's your flirting methods. Now, Ants,
I fucked up eye. It looks like I have an eye twitch.
no, you beat yourself up too much.
I do, and no one else can. That's right, because I'm the ace.
You are the ace.
Ant Money. I have so many different monikers.
Ant Money, and hey, nice segue to Eddie Money. No relation, but still, there's something about the Money name, even if it is a stage name. It's
something I want to say too that you made me think of. No pressure to people. Fun thing here.
Yeah, it's all fun.
A big WWE 2K22 fan, so I will live stream some days of my career mode, what's happening. So all of it you can check out on YouTube. You can watch the live footage of me playing. You won't see me actually playing.
Check it out. It's great stuff. Watch this 2K. I mean, this footage. I'm promoting it.
Have you watched any of it?
I've seen it on your YouTube channel. I'm going to have to watch it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not lying, but I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, I'm here to support. I'm going to get to it. I promise you. I'm here to please and be the guy that you can tag in and say, here, promote that show. Go.
Promote this shit.
Yeah, there's your
I mean, definitely check it out. I mean, it's all fun and game. Literally, it's all fun and games. It's just me playing a video game. But I think I have some pretty stellar matches on there. I've had a banger of a match, Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet. I just had, listen, the match of the night so far has been Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar.
Now I want to see that.
We killed it.
I do want to see a real life match between Escobar and Rey Mysterio.
And it was back and forth. It was back and forth. And you get to see all of this other matches on there. You got Money in the Bank matches. There's oh god, I'm trying to think. Kevin Owens versus Johnny Nitro. Is that his name? What's his name? Johnny Wrestling?
Yeah, he was Johnny Nitro, but John Morrison.
John Morrison. There you go. For the Intercontinental title. The Street Profits are the tag team champions. They're defending against the Usos. There's a lot happening.
You booked yourself a spectacular card. I mean, the talent.
Yes, sir. And fun fact,
I'm amazed.
Titles are like old school from like the Ruthless Aggression period. So like there's a cruiserweight title that's involved. The women's champion is, I think, Io Sky the women's champion? Io Shirai is the NXT Women's Champion, and she is taking on Alexa Bliss for the title. That show. So yeah, there's a lot.
You are doing just some fantastic work. Booker of the Year, Anthony, right here, Ant, doing some. Yeah, Mr. Monday night, Mr. Friday night, Mr. Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever there's wrestling night.
Yeah, whenever there's wrestling.
Respective Rob Van Dam, RVD.
Yep. So, anyways, let's move on to our next match. We have Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Roxanne Perez taking on Damage Control. I didn't take a lot of notes here. Damage Control gets the win after a roll up on Roxanne. But a lot of fans were really impressed with Roxanne. What did you think? Have you ever seen her before? I mean, I know she was on the Indies as Roxy, so some people do know her. But what do you think?
I think she's very impressive, very talented. I think, what was it, her under the Indies, was it Booker T that discovered her?
I think Booker T did, yep.
Because I read up a little bit on her and about her. Let me correct myself there so everybody can understand my English. But Roxanne Perez has been very spectacular. I know I use that word. I'll just go back to it. And I like that they're using her on the main roster for SmackDown and still on NXT. I think she'll flourish. I think I see a lot of upside, and evidently they do too, or she wouldn't be in that spot. So from what I've seen on SmackDown, and I did get to see a little bit of her work and her in action in NXT. So I'm very taken back. I think she's wonderful.
Roxanne Perez. She's cool. I'm excited to listen. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't really focus much on her. The only time I really saw her in the ring was her match with Cora Jade at, I think it was Worlds Collide, maybe, or no, not Worlds Collide. I don't know when it was, but
it was one of those. But I know what you're referencing, because it was one of shows for
maybe it was
NXT.
In Your House. Maybe I don't know. It
It
was
could have
some,
been an In Your House.
but I'm looking forward to Halloween Havoc to kind of see what else she can deliver on. So I'm
Me as
excited for
well.
that.
I think Halloween Havoc's they're building it up very nicely, and it's always one of my favorites. Going back to when it was
Mhm.
in WCW, that was one of their big pay per
I
views. Is
love the
Halloween
setups and I love the stages and all that fun stuff. Well, moving on to some more fun stuff here. Legado del Fantasma with Santos Escobar and My Lady Zelina Vega taking on Hit Row with B-Fab. And before the match, we get a very cool Viking Raiders promo. I'm very excited to see Sarah Rowe return.
It's got to be her.
It's her. It has to. I mean, it sounds just like her. It's her. She's gonna come back. But I like this new gimmick because it would fit her more than her just coming out with no
It
gimmick.
kind of helps her reinvent herself, even though they really are into the Viking thing.
They really are into that shit. So it's a cool promo. We get to see the Raiders, and they're gonna be coming back soon with her. So Legado del Fantasma get the win after I don't know what their finisher is called, but they nail it on Top Dollar.
I'm not sure either.
But the moment for me during the match, Zelina Vega attacked B-Fab.
Oh,
And-
she did. She went after Miss B-Fab or
Mhm.
Fabulous. I don't know if that's short for Fabulous.
Yeah.
I just made that up. I don't know.
She jumped off the steps and nailed the clothesline. I was excited to see Zelina Vega in action. She's always the best. What do you think about this?
I thought the match was okay. I got to tell you, there were some awkward spots from AJ Francis. Excuse me, Top Dollar. I've kind of heard him under his actual name too. My bad. I'm not supposed to do that. I kind of broke the rule. But Top Dollar, and I know it's not dollar, but I'm not hip in the way I'm going to say it's probably going to be.
Say it, please, sir. Top dollar.
Yeah, Top Dollar. There we go. See, I wanted to add the R. I can't help it. I'm so unhip and uncool. It's not even funny. I can't even get the guy's name right. His gimmick. I did better with his real name, but yeah, I don't know. He needs to. I think to go back to NXT. If I'm going to be honest, I think the others are fine. I think he looked a little bit sloppy in there.
Oh, well, that's because your man Jim Cornette said that he looked like didn't he say that?
Well, I'm not even going that critical. It's not because Cornette. No, that's not. I'm not going to insult him. He's a lot bigger guy.
Oh, let's not forget to mention Tyler as a fan of Jim Cornette.
Okay, you want the proof? I've got a picture and figurine. Yes, I am a fan, folks, of Jim Cornette.
I love it.
Send your hate tweets at Dutson Tyler 86. Thank you. Like he would care. He's probably like, who's this idiot? But
I just love how he makes fun of people's weights and shit. It's like Jim Cornette. Your ass is
well, he would make fun of mine. My height and everything. But I'm not doing that for the big guy. I just think he does have a point. He still feels a little green to me as far as his wrestling, or maybe he just had some awkward spots. That's what I noticed. I did kind of go back and highlight certain areas that and the fans were disengaged, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. Well, all right. Next, we see Sonya Deville backstage, and she's trash talking Liv Morgan. However, Liv attacks Sonya Deville. She slammed Sonya's head on the table backstage numerous times. She then puts Sonya on top of a table and climbs up a scaffolding and lands a senton to Sonya through a table. A lot of people are commenting. There's a moment, I think, at the pay-per-view where she was interviewed, and after it, she tweeted out something like, what's up with this? Something like that. So people are questioning if it's like a Schizo Frank storyline, if it has something to do with Bray Wyatt. Do you think it has anything to do with that, or is this just a gimmick change for Liv to make her seem more tough? Because a lot of people are thinking she's going to be Abby the Witch, but what do you think?
It's possible that she could have a role in the Wyatt family, the new faction, but I would not mind if it was just to make her more extreme or not necessarily extreme, just give her more attitude like we saw in that segment, attacking Sonya Deville. And I think it was one of those segments, kind of like the car crash, not comparing them, but it was something kind of get the people excited, the viewers, and even those watching at home like myself and yourself as well. So I thought it was a pretty entertaining segment. And I mean, Liv's going to start taking bumps through the tables. I mean, you thought Extreme Rules was over. We're still getting a little taste of hardcore.
Of Extreme Live. Yeah, you're right.
I like that Extreme Live.
Extreme Live. She's kicking ass. I mean, she's doing pretty good. Again, is this going to be a heel turn? I don't know, but it seems like the fans really like this Liv Morgan kind of.
She needs something to get that, edgier character
Mhm.
going, because I think that's why people wanted to see her lose the belt, because there was some intangibles that was not connecting, or were not connecting, pardon me, with the audience. And this is a way to help reinforce that by her becoming, whether or not the heel or just more the daredevil, the risk taker.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to see this new facet of Liv Morgan. There's a lot of stuff going on with her. And we'll talk more about her later on because she's mentioned again. So we have our main event. This is the Fatal 4-Way match, number one contendership for the Intercontinental title. We see Ricochet, Sheamus, Solo Sikoa, and before the next man is introduced, we find out that Karrion Kross was injured and cannot compete. And the new opponent is Rey Mysterio. Rey has officially been moved to SmackDown. Triple H made sure he didn't quit, but he's keeping him on SmackDown. We'll talk about that after the match. Let's talk about some of the moments from the match. Rey starts out diving onto Solo outside of the ring. He also oh no, that was Ricochet. Sorry, Ricochet dives onto Solo outside. Rey does a nice dive onto Sheamus outside of the ring. Solo nails a spinning heel kick to Sheamus. Sheamus does 20 beats to the Bowery to Solo. Sheamus then hits an Irish curse and a clover leaf, but nothing happens. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn run in to stop it. Sami attacks Sheamus outside. Jey Uso pulls Sami Zayn off of Sheamus, which was interesting there.
It was.
The Brawling Brutes then attack Sami Zayn and Jey Uso outside. Rey goes for a 619, but Ricochet catches him. However, Rey nails a spiked Hurricane Rana, and the end comes after Rey nails a 619 and a frog splash. And Rey Mysterio is our new number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental title. What do you think about them separating Dom from Rey and Rey being the number one contender?
I look at it from the standpoint that they're ready for Judgment Day to have some new adversaries, because Edge is away. Not that they won't revisit that because of what happened at Extreme Rules with Beth Phoenix, and we'll get her versus Rhea Ripley. I think it's, in another instance, a way to elevate Rey Mysterio, the legend, and to give him a feel-good story back, a good comeback on SmackDown, a different brand where he resurrected it at one point. You helped educate us all on that end. And I thought the match was really good. I liked all the competitors, Solo, and then Sheamus, and of course Ricochet and Rey Mysterio. The spots at the end, that finish, I liked how they changed and mixed things up. And I'm happy for Rey Mysterio, but I'm worried about him because he's going to have to be taking on Gunther, and boy, those chops are going to be quite a sight.
I am excited though, because I feel like this is the first time we've seen them together, and I think it's gonna be David versus Goliath. Rey is always good at those big man matches. So I'm excited.
He is.
And Gunther isn't a boring giant like Omos. Gunther can fucking.
No, gosh, no. There's a whole lot of contrast between Gunther and Omos. It's going to be very entertaining, very intense, very physical. It's going to have all those attributes and more.
Yep. Well, let's talk about next week on SmackDown. We know that Logan Paul will be returning. You know, he's going to have some words, obviously, for Roman Reigns, his opponent.
It's about to get real.
It's going to get real with Logan Paul. We then have our WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line. The champion, Damage Control, defending against Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. And this match was mentioned. It was just made. Sonya Deville taking on Liv Morgan one-on-one after the attack backstage that Liv applied to Sonya. So a lot taking place next week. Excited for
Yeah,
that.
be a lot of solid matches. I'm excited.
I'm not really looking forward to the Shotzi and Raquel because Shotzi doesn't really do it for me. And
You think they're kind of getting competitive because they only have so many tag teams they can pair together on the
yeah,
women's side as well. So
yeah,
we're getting more. I'm afraid damage control is getting overexposed a little bit.
I agree with you. That's one of the things that I said. I feel like they're being used a lot, and they're like the only. They're not even like Bailey's not women's champion.
They've lost their steam since they
Yes,
came out at SummerSlam. That was a big
yes.
moment, and it continued. And now the momentum seems to be slowly
Well,
declining, maybe
I
quickly.
do think, to be on and to be fair, my thought with this quick, and then we'll move on. I think they haven't really had really good adversaries yet, right? Like there hasn't really been a good team to stand up to them. It's been Alexa and Asuka and Bianca, but we all knew we need to see people that we won't question that they can beat them, make a formidable team. Adding Shotzi because Aaliyah got hurt makes no
It's
sense
just
to.
throwing it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have to do that because, like you just mentioned, injuries. But it's getting to be a little too much of the same.
Yeah. Someone either they need to have a new member join quick to set up for war games, or they because that's the other thing too. Like with Bailey losing, to be honest with you, whenever somebody loses, and I'm not one of those people
Yeah.
that's like, oh, you always need to win because you don't, you need to lose, I believe, as a
Yeah.
wrestler.
It's not always about the winning. It's just
Yep.
about, like we're discussing, sometimes you can overdo things where
Mhm.
it's not special anymore. It don't even have to be special. It's just not meaningful as much
Yeah.
to the fans.
Yeah. And I think with this situation, it's like they're brought together in a cool way. They're here to take control, and they have, but Bailey keeps getting beat by Bianca. So it's like, why do you think you still have control? Like, you keep losing. Like, and like, yeah, your girls win every now and then, but it's like when you're attacking from behind, whenever it's one-on-one, you guys tend to lose. So I'm just,
No,
I
I
mean,
feel yeah. I think that's been a lot of people the consensus, and
yeah,
I'm one of those.
yeah. I mean, they did win this episode of SmackDown, but let's move on to something more important. Bray
All right,
Wyatt finally comes back after
he
his big
does.
debut at Extreme Rules. And he comes out and he says, I am grateful and really nervous to be here. This is just me. This is a version of myself that I never got introduced to you before. This is genuinely me. He says, this past year, I lost a lot of things, my career, self-confidence, two people who were really close to me. I lost my way. Bray says, I thought nothing I did mattered to anyone, but I was wrong. People would ask me when I'm coming back home, and people told me I saved their lives. Bray says, I can sit here and say, you were there when I was weak. So I want to say thank you. You all saved my life. Fans are chanting or clapping. Fans are really behind this.
Oh, they
Lights
were
go
excited.
out, and I guess we can call this person White Rabbit. I don't know what to call
Yeah,
this.
I'm assuming. I don't know if that's actually going to be the title, just because of vignettes and the
Yeah,
cryptic messages. I'm not sure either.
well, I mean, we'll just call it the fate, or what we'll call it? The shape, kind of like
There you go, like Michael Myers. Why
Halloween.
not?
The
Yeah, it's
shape.
Halloween.
Right?
Yeah.
So we see the shape, and it's the fiend mask, and he basically says, "You have no idea what you're dealing with," and he's laughing. Now, some people are taking that as the mask is talking to us, the fans, saying, "You don't
Yeah,
know what you're
it's
dealing
quite
with
possible.
Bray," or this is some kind of demonic possession of Bray, and it's telling him, you are not in control anymore. I got your body. You're gonna listen to me. Because Bray is doing something he normally doesn't do, and then the lights go out, and here comes this person. What do you think it's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be, split personality? This person's like that this character controls Bray, and one because remember when he did the Firefly Funhouse, he kind of had this character where he
Yeah,
was
he did have a lot of the
regular. And
personalities.
is this happening again, or do we think this is him telling the fans, like, you guys don't know what you're in for, don't trust him because we're gonna fuck you? What's happening here?
I think that could be the last part you mentioned. It may be the fans get ready for what we can do creatively. And I got to say, going back to that promo, I mean, Bray Wyatt could always talk, but it means a lot and connects with you and makes you emotional. Even people probably had tears in their eyes because it was real life. He got released and he had people coming up saying they were an influence on him, and he was inspired by the fans, and talking about Brody Lee, people close to him, a few of them that had passed and that he's back. It was just it warmed your heart. And then the transition to that video was just so brilliant. I mean, this guy's, and I can't wait to see what's next. That's the thing about this kind of episodic television, where you needed a cliffhanger, but you had that promo that was so passionate and so endearing that if it is like another split personality, I'm intrigued. I'm like, whoa. I mean, they may got the wool over eyes. It could be a complete other direction, but I'm looking forward. I'm invested in it.
Me too. I wonder though, last question for you before I ask you your moment of the night. Do you think we're gonna get the characters like the Firefly Funhouse people? Do you think it's going to be kind of like a ministry thing where people join? Something has to happen because War Games is coming up. I don't know if Bray is going to be involved, but go ahead. What do you think is going to happen? Because we did see those characters.
We did at Extreme Rules.
So what do you think? Do you think we're going to see people?
I think we probably are. I think you could still do the personalities things, but I think you got to have these characters, but they're reinvented. It's not going to be the same like what we saw with the Fiend, the Firefly Funhouse stuff. So I think it's plausible that for War Games, it would make it interesting. I don't know who you would pair them against is another thing. That's
people
also
keep saying the Bloodline.
I don't know.
Yeah. My thing is that if it is, listen, the only thing that would make sense, for Bray is for him to be like, I haven't been the same since you beat me at SummerSlam without me knowing. Remember?
Yeah, Bray, and that would be good storytelling because Roman did sneak up on him and Strowman back in 2020 in the Thunderdome era.
Remember, you won't see it coming. That was the whole tagline. And so, maybe he can say, ever since then, I haven't been the same. I've been, I thought I was this great eater of worlds, and I'm not. And then I met this person who is the shape in his mind, and then he showed me the way. And these are the people, and these are, because there's a lot. But
there's so much they could do. That's what I think's compelling. I know I use that word a lot, but you can just add so many layers to this whole story.
Well, we have less than a minute. Really quick, what was your moment of the night, Tyler?
Probably the Bray Wyatt promo. I mean, the matches were good. Rey Mysterio, the four-way that determined the number one contender for the Intercontinental title was good. And no disrespect, but I think those two. And the car crash, Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, but Bray Wyatt, I mean, say what you will, the guy's promo, that video was just magical. And in a sense, it was.
I agree. That was my moment. We're going to do a quick wrap up. Thank you, guys. That was my moment of the night, too, seeing Bray Wyatt come back. Stay safe, everybody. We will be back next
be careful.
week. Tyler, thank you for joining me again.
Oh, you're so welcome, man. I had fun.
You rock. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you soon.